Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the Atlas Rolltop from Solgaard. Rolltop bags can be popular because of the flexibility that they offer. They can also provide some additional weather resistance, but in my opinion they can be a little bit clunky to use, and I'm also not crazy about the aesthetic. With that being said, I have been a big fan of the other bags in Solgaard's lineup that I've had a chance to test out, and so I was curious what they would bring to the Rolltop category. And in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test this over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, I'm generally not a huge fan of how roll tops look. I find that they can either be too technical or they can feel a little too fashionable, for lack of a better word, but I feel like Solgaard struck a really good balance with the Atlas backpack here. So you still have some of the technical aspects, compression straps, the roll top itself, but it's implemented in a way that's a little bit more subtle and modern, so it feels like a versatile appearance that's going to work well across a number of environments, something that I could definitely use for traveling, taking it into the office, or just walking around the city. As far as the materials, the bag feels pretty solidly built. This exterior fabric is Solgaard SureTech fabric, which is made out of recycled plastic water bottles. I've had this on a couple of different bags from Solgaard, and so far it's held up pretty well and is going to offer a nice amount of weather resistance. Beyond that, you can feel some really nice kind of hardware and components used throughout the rest of the bag, as well as some smooth working and reliable zippers, which don't appear to be YKK. There's no YKK branding on them, but I haven't had any issues with them so far. And then continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to say that you have two external water bottle pockets. These offer a nice amount of elasticity and space, so they were able to handle my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler pretty comfortably. And then, when you pull the bottle out, because of this elasticity, the compartments kind of hug the bag to maintain a cleaner look. It's interesting that you have kind of these dual compartments. So you have the large inner compartment with this elastic that works well for the bottle. And then you have the secondary sleeve here, which could maybe work for a water bottle as well. It's a little bit more shallow, so I would probably use this more to pair with something like a tripod. I could place the tripod in here and combine it with one of the compression straps that's along the side. So they have these nice G hooks here that will allow you to adjust them and attach, something that doesn't fit on the inside of the bag, or you can use it to compress the sides down when the bag isn't quite as full. So a pretty interesting system here. Great that you have the various options to use this. I suppose if you wanted to place an umbrella in one and a water bottle in the other, but as you start to use both, I think that will get a little bit difficult just because they're sharing the same volume. So you kind of have to pick and choose, but great that you have one of these on each side. And then you have a nice handle at the top. So this is going to be great for picking the bag up off the ground. Feels pretty reinforced. Not the most maybe padded handle per se, but it gets the job done. And then along the front, you have the Solgaard logo here at the bottom. So I like that it's a little more out of the way and subtle, which works really nicely. You also have, of course, the roll top mechanism, which we'll talk a little bit more about when we get into the organization. And then the bag does manage to stand up somewhat well on its own when it's a little bit more packed out. This is one of those that, as you start to shift the weight around, it might start to tip. So I ended up leaning it most often, but as you can see here, it can do so when everything is kind of loaded in. As far as the capacity, given that this is a roll top, there is some flexibility in the volume. When it's compressed down, it comes in at about 27 liters, and then it expands up to 31 liters. And I think that this is a pretty versatile size. 27 liters is a little bit of a larger EDC bag, but to me, with the silhouette of this bag, I think it works pretty well. It never felt overwhelmingly big or bulky when I was walking around. It was able to easily hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me. Had some extra space for longer days or minimal travel. And this definitely felt like the type of bag that I would be able to carry onto a variety of domestic and international airlines, as well as using it for walking around the city and jumping on a public transit. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding. It's really soft and comfortable right out of the box. On the inside, you have this breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. And then the straps also have a pretty good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. On the straps, you also have this kind of aluminum or metallic ring here that might be a good spot to clip on an additional accessory or hang your sunglasses. And then you have an adjustable sternum strap here to give you a little bit more support. On the strap, you also have an additional zippered pocket for a transit card or something that you're going to be grabbing a little bit more regularly. Then on the back panel, this has also been quite comfortable. You have really nice padding that's well distributed all throughout, so lots of cushioning here, same breathable mesh that we saw on the straps, and also some elevation here to create this air channel to provide you with some ventilation while you're walking around throughout the day. On the back panel, you also have really nice luggage passenger to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. And you have a couple of hidden zippered pockets, which are going to be great for storing something a little bit more sensitive, like a passport, a wallet, some extra cash. Here I have a field notes notebook, but really cool idea here to just have something that is a little bit more protected from pickpockets. And it's nice that you actually have two separate compartments down here at the bottom. Jumping into the organizational options, you have a zippered quick access pocket on the front. It's got a pretty tall zipper with the vertical orientation, so this is going to be nice so that you can swing the bag around, reach in and grab something without taking it all the way off. And so a nice amount of space here. I like that this has a little bit of volume, so it'll be able to handle something like my alpaca admin pouch with some EDC essentials. And then I also tossed in a cable to charge my tablet and my phone. On the inside here, no sort of organization or anything like that. It might have been nice to have maybe a slip pocket or two or something to prevent everything from sliding towards the bottom. So definitely a good thing to pair with an item that's a little bit taller. Could also be a good spot for a Kindle, a notebook, and just great to have something that's a little bit more quick access. And then above that, you have another zippered pocket that is not fully quick access because the roll top does tend to get in the way. So you have to loosen this to be able to easily get to this compartment, but it still offers a nice amount of space and something that's still going to be good for the items that I'm reaching for pretty regularly. So I have a sunglasses case in there, I have my AirPods, and then I also have a retractable USB-C cable, a pen, and on the inside here you also have a little lanyard with a clip that's going to be a good spot for your keys or a multi-tool. On the back of the bag, you have a dedicated laptop compartment. You have the reverse coil zippers here. Might have been nice to see an aqua guard. And then you have the dual zipper pulls. They're not lockable in the traditional sense, but you can potentially use some sort of a lock with the zipper pulls. And then I like having a dedicated laptop area to make it easy to get to this throughout the day, or in particular when I'm traveling. And so you have a nice amount of space here. Besides the laptop sleeve, you have a good bit of extra space to store some documents or an additional device if you want to. I really like the implementation on the laptop sleeve itself though, as it's got this really nice soft lining and a good bit of padding all the way around. It is pulled up off the bottom of the ground, so you can drop your laptop in there and you don't have to worry about it making contact with the ground. And so this will be able to handle a 15 or 16 inch laptop pretty comfortably. Currently what I have here is my 14 inch MacBook Pro. So you can see there's some leftover space there. And then pulling my device out. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. You have that really nice soft lining on both sides, which is great to see. This does come up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker device, should be able to fit in there comfortably. I do think it's interesting that the sleeve was added on this side of the laptop compartment versus the other side, because if the main area started to get really packed out, I could see that starting to kind of push up against the laptop, which I'm not generally a fan of. So I would have loved to have seen this switch to the other side. But regardless, with the padding that's provided here and the fact that this pulled up off the bottom of the ground, it feels like my device is going to be very well protected while I'm on the go. Moving into the main compartment, we can take a closer look at the roll top opening here, which is one of the more distinct aspects of the bag. And I think that this system was implemented well. So you have the ability to adjust it very easily. You have this nice, smooth working strap and then a quick release buckle. I know there's a lot of different implementations on roll top bags. Sometimes it's Velcro straps, G-hooks, magnetic buckles. I think that the simplicity of this one works quite well. It's very quick to release it and it's a very secure hold once it's actually buckled. And then you can unwind this to be about the 31 liters as I mentioned earlier. So if you leave it all the way up, you would put the buckle out and then you can see how this additional space would get filled up. And so good to have that additional flexibility. I tend to use it mostly as the more compressed capacity, because of the aesthetic. I think that this just looks a little bit nicer, but I think that this works well. You also have a magnetic portion here at the top to help secure this flap. And so this is going to be great for just accessing your stuff from the top. If you don't want to open it all the way, It's a pretty cavernous main area. You do have the lighter lining on the inside, which is nice. So I can reach in and grab the items that I'm using a little bit more frequently, like my headphones. But the cool thing about this bag is that it's a roll top that also opens up fully clamshell so that you can easily see everything that's on the inside. And this is a pretty simple layout, but that also makes it easy to squeeze in a ton of stuff, and it works great with a modular setup, as I typically like to use. And so jumping into what I have here at the moment, my Beats Studio wireless headphones, which I was just showing a second ago. I have a packable rain jacket, and then I have the Lockbeat Tech pouch, Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1/2 liter. I even have the Alpaca Elements mini pouch. I just tossed in a bunch of different pouches to showcase the space. I have the Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1 liter. I have my DJI Mavic Mini with its hardshell case, and then I have the Evergood Civic Access pouch, 2 liters. So that's a lot of pouches that I was able to squeeze in there, more than a lot of the other bags, even at this size range, because of the simpler layout. So great to see that. And then on the inside here, you can see there is a slip pocket on the back. Currently I have my iPad in there. It is a little pulled up off the bottom of the ground, so that's why it might be good for a device or anything else that's a little flatter that you want to store separate from the other items in the compartment. And then this bag includes Solgaard's Flow Closet, which I've featured in the Simon Sinek Optimist backpack video that I did. Similar style here. I think this is such a cool accessory. I'm still not as comfortable with it as I am with packing cubes, just because I've been traveling with packing cubes for so many years now. But I think that this is such a cool idea as far as having a closet that you can pack into your bag and then quickly pull it out when you arrive at your destination, hang it up, you can access all of your stuff, and then you can keep using your bag without the closet itself. So excellent idea. I think it works well. The more I use it, I think the more I'm gonna like it. But for the most part, I still continue to kind of lean more towards my packing cube setup, which also fits very comfortably into this bag. If that's how you prefer to pack, you could easily toss in a larger packing cube, dock kit, an extra pair of shoes, a jacket, a couple other things, and be able to use this for a longer weekend trip. And then you do also have some organizational options built into this main area. On one side, you have a zippered compartment that's got a nice soft lining here, so it's going to be great for something a little bit more delicate. This seems like a good spot for something like your phone. And one of the cool things about having this full zip here is that you don't have to open the main compartment all the way if you have it closed. Depending on which side you want to get to, you can just undo one of the zippers and access this pocket if you need to. Same for the other side. And then you have the 2 elastic compartments on the bottom, so these might be good for an umbrella, charger, something a little bit taller. And then on the other side of this compartment, you have soft lined pocket here. Again, could be for your phone. You have one that seems to be perfectly sized for a pair of glasses. I know that that's something Solgaard typically uses these pockets for, so it's got nice soft lining on the inside. It's a little bit padded. You have a couple of elastic bands here for some tools or maybe cables, dongles. Then you have an elastic slip pocket, kind of perfectly sized for a pair of AirPods, and then a couple of slots that'll be good for a pen or a stylus or anything like that that you want to carry. So not going overboard, but still nice to have these incorporated into the compartment. And then on the lid for this main area, you have a couple of additional zippered compartments. One on the bottom that's going to not have mesh, so you can't see inside here. Might be a good spot for medicines, documentation, extra cash, anything that's a little bit more sensitive. And then above that, you have one that has mesh. Nice amount of space here. Currently have my Tom Bin Ghost Wheel pouch in there, but you could see this being very useful for cables and other smaller accessories, maybe even some toiletries that you want to be able to grab without it falling all the way out of the compartment when this is zipped up. So really like the layout in this main area and how everything is thought out throughout the rest of the bag. I've mentioned it a few times. Roll tops are not always my go-to style of bag, but I've actually enjoyed using this one quite a bit. I think there's some interesting ideas here. The space that it offers is really useful. And if you're a fan of roll top bags and you're looking for something that's gonna offer you a lot of versatility, whether you're using it for your day-to-day, for minimal travel, you want something comfortable and stylish, then I think this is gonna be a really great option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the Atlas Rolltop over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company site for about $275, so definitely premium pricing on this one. It is a bit of an investment. You are getting a solidly built bag with a nice feature set. It's also going to include the hanging closet insert that I featured in the video, so it feels like you get a good bit of value for the price point, but there's going to be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, this definitely reminded me of some of the other bags in Solgaard's lineup, like the Optimist backpack that they partnered up on with Simon Sinek. That was more of a limited edition release. I'm not sure if they'll still be in stock at the time of filming this video, but they also have their Venture backpack, which I'm going to be featuring on the channel. And it looks like a great update to the company's Endeavor bag, which I featured a while back on the channel. And that one has a more traditional clamshell style layout. So, if the roll top isn't quite for you, that's gonna offer an excellent alternative. It expands, so it's gonna give you flexibility as far as how big it is and how much it can hold. It's also got a nice organizational layout, some quick access pockets, the same type of laptop protection and tech organization that this bag has, similar harness system. So really checking off some of the same boxes, but in just that more clamshell style layout. So if you like Solgaard's materials, the company, and you want things like that closet insert, and that's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Wandered Provoke, which has been one of my favorite cameras / EDC bags of the past couple of years. Like this one, it's got a roll top style opening, very weather resistant materials. It opens up clamshell style as well so that you can access all of your stuff, good laptop protection, comfortable harness system. The layout on that one is pretty simple, but it has quick access pockets to allow you to get to your stuff, water bottle pockets, so a lot of similarities as far as the feature set, but the weather resistance on that I believe is gonna be a little bit better. And that one also has the side access for your camera, as well as the ecosystem that Wandered has put together for accessories. They have the camera cubes that work very well with their bags. And so if you're looking for something very weather resistant, rugged, that's gonna work well for camera gear in particular, then that's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here, if you have a little bit of a higher budget, is the Track Bannock Pro, which is made out of wax canvas. It's a top-loading bag. It's got a rucksack style opening, so a little different than the roll top, but it still has the ability to adjust the volume a bit to give you some flexibility. It's got the really nice Cobra buckles on the front, nice organizational layout, dedicated laptop compartment, a pretty comfortable harness system. Like this one, it is able to open up fully flat so that you can easily organize all of your stuff. And so just a really versatile, durable bag. And if you're looking for something with more of a heritage style vibe, then that's gonna be one of the best options to take a look at. With that being said, the Atlas backpack holds up pretty well against all those options, and although I still prefer a clamshell style bag like Solgaard's Venture backpack, I have been surprised with how much I've enjoyed using this one. I think the implementation was done very well, and if you're a fan of roll top bags and you're looking for something that's gonna be comfortable and offer a nice bit of space and organization, this is gonna be a really interesting option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Atlas Rolltop Backpack and how it compares to some of the other popular EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.